Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now April 27th of 2024, and given that Marvel Studios is going through a very challenging phase right now, due to all of the expensive failures on the horizon for 2025, we discussed this multiple times, that Captain America 4 is in deep trouble due to all of the changes and alterations being made to that movie, as well as Blade 2025, and what's also going on with, among other Marvel projects related to Disney Plus, such as new TV shows. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. So, the new Deadpool and Wolverine trailer, the reason why it really came across as more entertaining than anything that Marvel has put out in the past 12 months, it all boils down to Shawn Levy, the director, and Ryan Reynolds, who demanded Disney that the trailer would be done in their own fashion, in their way of executing it on the big screen and at home. Now, for those of you that do not know, this trailer that you saw just a couple of days ago will be attached to the new Planet of the Apes film in May, so if you guys want to go ahead and catch that trailer on the big screen, it's going to be attached to that movie. But interestingly enough, what really, of course, boils everything up even further has a lot to do now with what's been going on with Brie Larson and her connection to Deadpool and Wolverine and how it involves the character of Captain Marvel. Let's get into all of this, shall we? Now, specifically, we already know that a lot of changes were made to Deadpool 3, thanks to Ryan Reynolds and Shawn Levy making right decisions, because they're ones that stand for source material, pure entertainment, what fits the story, understanding the audience. I mean, they get all of that, and they are the prime reason why I believe that this movie will succeed with every more victory that they obtain as they confront Disney further and further. Now, interestingly enough, again, of course, with the Walt Disney Company and all of its divisions going through many challenges due to Bob Iger's cost containment strategy, one major development now has much to do with Brie Larson and the upcoming Deadpool and Wolverine trailer, and how Ryan Reynolds falls into the middle of this drama. Now, one crucial update to this ongoing situation, much like the Tatiana Maslany scenario that happened days ago behind the scenes, now involves Brie Larson putting full blame on Ryan Reynolds as to why Captain Marvel was deleted from the third act of Deadpool 3 and planned reshoots as well. The main reasoning why Brie actually got into heated arguments with those like Ryan and director Shawn Levy have much to do with the fact that her scenes were reportedly pulled at last minute and were going to serve as a central scene to introducing variants of the Fantastic Four and its villain Galactus, as one, of course, now that is all deleted. Now Larson has been taking the necessary steps with her team, such as her agent and manager, to battle Disney, including Reynolds, in a last-minute desperate move to convince Ryan to not just reinstate the scenes that she had partially filmed for Deadpool and Wolverine, but also she is now demanding to be part of the planned reshoots that were originally going to include new scenes of Captain Marvel that were going to fix the scenes involving the Fantastic Four. Now, Larson was blaming Reynolds for catering to the, of course, quote-unquote loud toxic male demographic for her scenes getting cut, when in reality, her sequences were axed due to cringeworthy dialogue and even how it was taking up too much time for the flow of the third act. Now, one scene in particular featured a moment in which Captain Marvel gives Deadpool a lesson that she is the strongest Avenger there is in all realities, and teaches him a lesson about the multiverse. Larson's Captain Marvel and her design, essentially, for Deadpool 3, was planned to feature her sporting the shorter hair in this film. Now, where some pieces of dialogue even feature Captain Marvel snapping back at Wolverine when he questions who this lady is. One line of dialogue that was rehearsed for reshoots before her character was cut involved Captain Marvel calling Wolverine an untrained puppy on understanding the multiverse. Reynolds and Levy didn't agree with Kevin Feige's forced, improvised dialogue that was created on the fly and handed down to writers Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick on how to use it. With Larson's scenes now officially out of Deadpool 3 and those decisions finalized, Larson and her team are taking matters up with the corporate ladder, including Bob Iger about her scenes that were part of her contract reportedly. However, due to the Marvel's failure, this also led to Reynolds wanting to cut ties from any form of Marvel baggage. With Reynolds now, of course, holding much creative power over the film, this is why Larson puts most of the blame on him. There was even a heated exchange behind the scenes when she was informed about her exit that she blamed Disney as an incompetent studio catering to misogynists and providing women false promises in the film industry like Tatiana Maslany went through in her mind. Now guys, let me just stop here for one moment before I move on. Now, here's the thing about Deadpool 3 and why I think too many cameos are a bad thing. Now, obviously, cameos are a great thing if they serve the story well. In this scenario, it would not have worked out well. You have not only cringeworthy dialogue, like I discussed before, being presented to the characters like Wolverine and Wade Wilson, but also how the scene in its own nature just felt very forced. It felt very shoehorned just to put Captain Marvel in there to say that she's the best in all realities. Alright? Now, she already made a similar line of dialogue like that in past Avengers installments, where she does label herself as the most powerful one in the universe, and how everything has been a challenge until she came into the equation. So, this is not a big surprise that Larson wants to really implant herself into a movie, of course, that could further her career, much like what happened with Tatiana Maslany, the main reason why she got so defensive over her getting axed from her multiple cameos in Deadpool and Wolverine, is that she believed that this would enhance her career within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, look, we have these two actresses, these two characters that were cut from Deadpool and Wolverine. I think that when you're in the film industry, I don't care what it is, whether you're on camera, anywhere, you need a thick skin. You can't be someone that takes things so personally. This is a business. Things like this happen, and you have to understand that. And I think it's actresses like those that don't necessarily just get it. They don't really fully understand how the industry truly works. So, looking at the Marvels, looking at She-Hulk, I fully stand by Ryan's decision for not wanting any form of Marvel baggage, preventing any level of walkouts, because I'm sure if some fans saw any lengthy scenes or cameos featuring She-Hulk and Captain Marvel presenting cringeworthy dialogue, it would have definitely left a bad taste in their mouths at some point in time for Deadpool and Wolverine. Now, moving on forward, the drama between Larson and Reynolds, as well as Disney, was so large it rattled throughout all of Marvel Studios about the production for the third film, and is why the reshoots were delayed one whole week, which by the way begin in just 2 days from now. So, I don't know if you guys knew, but we talked about this. The reshoots are going to last until the last couple of days of May, quite possibly spilling into the early days of June, and then wrapping it all up very quickly, going into the editing phase again, finishing things up by July, the first week of July, and then throwing that movie out there in theaters come the end of that month. So there's a lot of things going on with this film, and it is rushed. It is a rushed production, and I don't think it's necessarily something too much to worry about, because it's not like, you know, there's a lot of, you know, complex scenes that were made per se. But overall, I would love to hear what you all have to say about this ongoing drama below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.